Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I begin in the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Wal asr innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihati wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. Sadaqallahu al-aliyyul azim. Salli ala Muhammad wa alayhi Muhammad. My respected scholars, World Federation President Safdar Jafar, I'm not sure if he's still online, he might be quite late in Dubai, but for minutes purposes, I'm sure he will watch it later. Africa Federation President Shabir Bhai Najafi, CoEJ President Dr. Akbar Muhammad Ali, and our host President Rizwan Rehmatullah, councillors, delegates, elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Could I please ask you all to recite the Surah Al-Fatiha to remember our marhumin to start with, please? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Malik yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladhina an'amta 'alayhim ghayril maghdubi 'alayhim waladdallin. Thank you. We spoke about languages earlier, and I heard people saying we need to stick to our mother tongue. So my mother tongue is Kutchi. तो हने आओ कच्ची में बोला इदानी कितना इन कच्ची बोलन वाला तो बांग कच्ची में okay gana hata imot hai so that's quite good. So we always emphasize so much on Gujarati being the language of Khojas, which is quite unfair because I have my dad Kutchi, my mom Gujarati, and I feel it's quite well balanced. So because we're in the UK and we're in CoEJ, I'm going to stick to English. I have quite a few languages I can pick, by the way. Pour les Français, je peux parler en français aussi. Pour une fois, on a un leader français, mais je vais parler en anglais pour le moment. So I could also stick to to Swahili, Lingala, and it can just go on and on. So let's keep English for now. It's a pleasure to see all of you here present in a physical meeting. It's been a while since we sat face to face. It's been very challenging times for many of you. I can see there's a lot of people online, and it's nice to see you guys online. It's again challenging for you who haven't been able to make it to this meeting for various reasons. Some people are vulnerable, some people don't feel comfortable, some people have to isolate. I also feel for all our European brothers. Now, some European brothers have made an effort to come all the way from France, from Switzerland, but then we have some members from Sweden and other France Jamaats. So you're all welcome, and inshallah in the future, and I'm looking at the camera because I want to see you guys. I don't see you here, and I'm talking to everybody, but I want to see you that inshallah in the future, in some of the meetings, we will be able to have, like in the old days, some of these physical meetings. So I'm looking forward to that. Every leader before me today emphasized that everything we do is for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is very important because everything, whether we do here, at home, in our day-to-day life, we should never forget that focus, that we do everything for His pleasure and only His pleasure. And the minute we feel that we're going away from that message, we need to revisit and stop and question ourselves, why are we doing this? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Salim Rehmatullah. I'm the current president-elect, as Murtaza Bhai said. I grew up in Congo DRC, and by training I'm an IT engineer. Currently I'm an entrepreneur and a real estate developer. I have been the president of Peterborough Jamaat for 2 terms, so it's an honor for me to start this in my own Jamaat. I have been a WF executive councillor for 1 term. I have been involved with CoEJ for the past 8 years. And I'm a very proud Khoja. Now the reason why I say that, because we have millions of Shia Ithna-Ashari in the world. But what makes us different, or what makes us unique for this organization, is the fact that we are Khojas. And we are very proud Khojas. And that doesn't mean that we look down on anybody, but we welcome everybody. My wife, for example, isn't a Khoja, but she's also very proud of the fact that I'm a Khoja, and I make sure that everybody around me or my friend circle know that I'm a Khoja, and we continue to be proud Khojas. So the question is, what is my motivation? Why am I standing here today? What made me decide to come and be the leader today? First of all, for everybody listening out there, there's a lot of young people listening, and I hope my children are listening as well. And I always make sure I emphasize the importance of being part of the community and a Jamaat, and especially taking this route, because this journey for me started at the age of 7 or 8 years old, following my dad at the mosque. And unfortunately, he's not here. He passed away a few years ago. And he would have been very proud to see me here standing as a leader, because I did not think myself that I would be the leader of this council. The whole journey has been a blessing. This morning I was talking to my wife and we were discussing, and I was telling her, can you actually believe that I'm the president of CoEJ? I cannot believe it, because it is a very, very special moment and it's a very big responsibility. But this journey started following my dad at all these AGMs when we were kids. He used to take us, we used to sit there. And he was a president of the Jamaat for 15 or 16 years. And I remember every year or every 2 years, he would be elected as a president. On the way back, he would tell in the car, I hope your mom's going to be okay. Because he didn't know how to face it, how to say that I've become a president again. And he just went on and on for 16 years. And for me, that was something I could see, that he could not detach from this community. He could not detach from Jamaat work. And in the subconscious, I knew that one day, inshallah, I will also follow the footsteps that he started all those years ago. And I must say, Peterborough Jamaat is where it all started for me. I moved to Peterborough Jamaat approximately 11 years ago. And my intention was not to join the committee, to be part of anything here. I just wanted to look at a Jamaat which was available in a city, like most of us do. Wherever we move, we always look and find a Jamaat before we decide to move to that city. And when I moved from London, I decided Peterborough would be a good Jamaat because it's a small place, it's easily accessible, it's a very active community. It's the first, in fact, we were laughing yesterday, but Peterborough Jamaat has the first mosque in the West, in Europe, the Shia mosque. And in fact, if I'm not mistaken, and please double check that, I think it's the second mosque as a whole in Europe. So as a purpose-built mosque. But please do check that. The Khoja one I do know, but we were discussing yesterday and I took it a bit further and I said maybe in the world, so some of them were challenging me. But anyway, that was just a banter. But the Khoja mosque, it is the first mosque in the West. I'm trying to emphasize that these centers, these Jamaats are very, very important. So I had come here as a volunteer, I joined the management, and the community here welcomed me so much and they added so much value to my life that a few years later I ended up becoming the president of this Jamaat. Now for me, this was a blessing. I feel Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has always helped and always looked back and said, you know what, I will keep giving, I will keep giving. And I keep telling myself, what have I deserved for him to be giving me the opportunity to serve and help my community? And after 2 years, or after 2 terms in Peterborough Jamaat, I thought my journey was finished here because Rizwan and Abbas have done fantastic work. They've carried on. But the journey continues. I've moved recently to Leicester. I also consider Leicester to be my Jamaat. And every Jamaat, you've seen all the capital projects. Everybody is doing fantastic work. This is because the importance of these Jamaats, you cannot undermine that. This is what keeps us going. As Khoja community, we're a very small community, and our identity, wherever we go, we always look at a Jamaat because that's our identity, and we feel proud because we don't have a country. To be very honest, either we're in Africa, we're in India, Pakistan, but as Khojas, we can't say this is our country, but our country and our land is our Jamaats. And I'm quite happy when I heard Dr. Liaquat Baidevji, he mentioned about the capital projects, and he says, go and fundraise, let everybody fundraise with their Jamaats, and then come to us. And a few years ago, when I had gone to Africa to talk about the fundraising, I remember speaking to Shabir Bhai Najafi, and I had said, look, this is, and he said something very important. He said, this is all one pocket. Whichever angle you look at it from, the Khoja pocket is one pocket. So we don't need to worry. Everybody, all of you who have projects, these projects will be funded by the same pockets. And we will make sure, inshallah, that we help you in the fundraising. We will work with every single Jamaat to look at your projects. We will work with World Federation, and with every federation, to make sure that your projects are finished. None of the projects so far have ever stopped because of the money, and I'm quite confident that it's not going to happen in the future, and inshallah some of these projects will all see their money coming in. We have various challenges right now, and we cannot deny that those challenges are real. Some of these challenges which were mentioned, that we hear in different speakers coming these days and talking about different thought process and thinking outside the box, challenging our aqaid. I'm not an expert, and this is why I have not discussed about these issues. If you talk to me about real estate, you talk to me about business, yes, I'll challenge you and I'll discuss with these things. But you talk about religious issues, it is a very important issue, but I would like to get the scholars involved so we can discuss and guide us. I would like to bring a panel on board so we can discuss and get guidance rather than the council. Often I feel in the council as leaders, we're spending way too much time discussing about something where we don't have expertise. So this is counterproductive. It is very important. Please do not get me wrong. These topics or these subjects are very important. We cannot not address them, because otherwise the community will get lost. They would not know what to do. So they need to be addressed, but there's a format. There's a way we need to address these issues. And we are going to look at that as a priority. In fact, I've been talking about it with my team, with the potential team that hopefully you will help me elect. I'm going to tell you who the team are in a minute. But we need to address these issues. Some of these challenges are within the community. Right now, mental health issues are big issues. I speak to people within the grassroots on a day-to-day basis, and these are challenges. CoEJ has done great work already within the mental health, and we need to do even more. We need to add to what they've already done. We have challenges with our youth. You know, there's a serious drug issue within our community. We need to face that. We need to look at that, and we need to accept that these issues do exist. And unless we accept these issues, we're not going to be able to solve them. We have issues with seniors. With what's happening with the COVID right now, we don't realize, but some of these seniors have not met their families for a long time. They don't go out. So already when we get to a certain age, we start feeling our social circle and social life is getting reduced. But with COVID, this has become even greater now. So we need to tackle that. We need to find a way to help. A Jamaat like Leicester, and I'm sure most Jamaats do it. So because I'm not familiar with you, but with Leicester Jamaat, what we did is, on a regular basis, we do go to these seniors, we visit them, we give them food, and we meet them on a regular basis. And I remember I was appointed by Brother Samir Rajani to go and give some food and some of these, every time we had niyaz, we used to give it to one of the seniors. And they used to look forward, more than the food, they used to look forward to us knocking at the door, and they would say, Assalamu alaikum, now we're going to talk. And you feel that, yes, I would love to sit with you and talk all day long, because that may be the first person they've seen in a few days. So these are challenges that we need to really look. Education is another one. We cannot, Brother Sarfraz Jarraj did mention about the model that the Ismaili community have. Now, I've looked and I've observed also how the Ismaili community works. And it's phenomenal. You know, some of the stuff they've achieved, there's no harm in learning from people and adapting it within our community, because they know exactly where the kid will be and what will they achieve by the time they reach GCSE. Do we know that about our kids? Some of them do, but I don't think we have a specific process in there. So we need to give more emphasis into education and the future of our children. Financial support, this is a huge one. Financial support not only within CoEJ, we need to find ways to make sure that we earn more money within CoEJ and CoEJ becomes stronger, but even our community. We need to look at different ways to support our community. As CoEJ community, you remember, we have not been generally working for people. We are entrepreneurs. We always like to bring ideas and become business people. And I feel within Europe, that's absolutely going away. So we need to maybe reignite that. Some communities like the Bora community, they push that quite heavily. So in Leicester, I've seen the Bora community, they make sure that everybody has their business, because that's the key thing they want to achieve. Why can't we do that again within our Khoja community in Europe? Africa is doing great with that, by the way. I remember within my family, people would work for somebody for a year and that's it. They're already thinking, how can I do that myself? And Shabibai knows, because there's so many people, whether they start small or big, they all want to start their own business. And we could adapt the same thing, because sooner or later, the COVID challenges are going to kick in. If we think COVID is over, yes, maybe things are getting stable, but the economic issues are yet to come. We still haven't seen the real challenges. And the last one, which I need to mention, I think it's very important for all of us to focus on all these challenges, to make sure our aqaid is protected. But our akhlaq needs to go hand in hand with our aqaid. And I feel, and I remind myself first of all, I always tell myself, whenever I have dealings with people, at times, I might come across as harsh, I might come across as I wasn't compassionate enough, and I remind myself. And I feel as leaders, it's my duty, and especially as your brother in faith, it's my duty to remind you that let's deal with each other with love. We're all on one side. We all love each other. I am so happy, genuinely happy to see all of you here. And especially when we go out there and we're getting tea and we're laughing and hugging each other, even though we're supposed to keep social distance, but we're keeping a virtual hug. It's nice, it feels really nice to do that. And that should not stop. And I always give the example, somebody told me many years ago, there is a reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked us to pray side by side and not face to face. Because we need to be close to each other. We should not be confronting each other at all times. And I think that's something we need to reflect and to move forward. With this said, I've been working with my team. We have been discussing the vision and what we want to achieve for the next 3 years. And I have had various conversations, and this has been going on for a while, where I've identified certain people purely because of what they can add to CoEJ. In fact, they can add a lot more than I can add. We have also discussed that it is very important that even before the first Exco, we sit with all the leaders. We need to identify what issues we're facing in the community. Now, this is not something for me to come up on my own and say, I feel this is going wrong and let's do it. We all need to get together. We're all united, so let's sit together as the leaders of the community, maybe take a day or two somewhere quiet, which is not an Exco environment. We sit there and we go through it. We talk about it, we identify everything, we come out of there all buzzing, and we make sure we go and deliver what we want to do. So I'm going to start by introducing the team that I'm going to be proposing. So first of all, I have Brother Murtaza Mansur Kanani. I will be proposing him to be our Vice President, inshallah. By profession, he is a consultant in corporate recovery and entrepreneur. He was the Vice President and Treasurer of Kenya Association of Travel Agents. He's been the President and Treasurer of Nairobi Jamaat. He's been Africa Federation Treasurer for 6 years. And he sat on the Interfaith Council of Kenya. And for those of you, I'm sure most of you do know, for those of you who don't know, Brother Murtaza Kanani is there sitting there, so you can see who it is. The second person is Sister Sabira Zalaka. She will inshallah be our First Lady Secretary General. She is an adjudicator in finance and construction. She was the first female executive council of the WF, both appointed and elected. She obtained a government grant for 10 projects and delivered them for Hujjat Jamaat. She's advisor at number 10 at Scotland Yard since 2005. Currently Muslim trustee of the National Interfaith Network and chair of the Finance and General Purpose Committee. She pioneered 2 projects, and she's currently working on democracy of women in WF and financial dignity of married women in CoEJ. Sister Sabira is sitting down there on the floor, so you can see her. Most of you, I'm sure you're aware of who Sister Sabira is. Then we have Muhammad Ali Muraj. Muhammad Ali Muraj is a chartered accountant by profession. He worked as an external auditor for 4 years at Big Four and is now in transaction advisory within corporate finance. He has been an active member of the community, having been part of the Behlul Youth Society, where he founded their flagship event, the Behlul Easter Camp. He has also served in the executive committee of Leicester Jamaat within Treasury for 2 terms. Additionally, he has supported the delivery of 2 Camp CoEJ as a mentor and core admin member, along with mentoring at the CoEJ YDPs. Brother Muhammad Ali Muraj is sitting there with the red top, for those of you who don't know who he is. Then we have somebody from Europe. Now, Europe, I always feel we need to do a lot more work to make them feel. We are all quite comfortable here in the UK and we're very active within the Jamaat, but I think we need to get more involvement from Europe. You know, they are very, very active Jamaats. I have visited Paris Jamaat and even Sweden Jamaats, and they do quite a lot, and I think it would be nice to get them involved within the council and within the office bearers more often. Already the Jamaat, the current office bearers have done that. They've worked with Brother Arif Hirji, and Dr. Akbar has always been there working with European Jamaat, so it's a great work, but we need to continue doing that. So I'm also proposing for Assistant Treasury, Naeem Wali, who's an IT professional based in France, and he's currently the Vice President of Paris South Jamaat for the past 5 years, but I understand he will no longer be if he takes this position. And then we have Farhan Jamal, who is from Stanmore. Farhan Jamal, our youngest team member and possibly youngest Assistant Secretary General, inshallah. He is a legal consultant by profession, currently serving a third term as an electoral commissioner of Hujjat Jamaat and was previously the chair. And Farhan Jamal is sitting right there with the glasses. Soon you will have the opportunity to elect office bearers and councillors. I trust and hope that you will honor me by electing my preferred team. If you ever have any questions and suggestions, we're always there to work with you. I have discussed this with my team, and just like I want to work for the unity of this community, my team feels the same, and we want to move forward by working together. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.